Look who's with us. Now you can smile. You're on camera. Right, you go. Ashley Webster, Elizabeth McDonald, Scott Martin and Brian Bremberg. All right, Scott, to you first of all. What do you make of all these profit reports so far? Are they good enough to justify another leg up for the market?
They're good enough, Stuart, and some of the best ones are yet to come, my friends, which is in the tech sector in the next week or two. So, to me, this is supporting what we've been saying all along, which is, these small little pullbacks that come ever so infrequently need to be bought. And you need to stay with the leaders of this market, which is tech. But also, as you noted there on the lead-in, Stuart, you're starting to see things like 3M, like Boeing, like some of the other companies that are out there with respect to the earnings on the industrial side take control here. And those are areas, too, that if you've held off from those areas, those are places I would add money.
Ash, Liz, it does take a strong stomach, doesn't it? If you're an investor, you're in our audience, you've seen your money run up so nice, it keeps on going up and going up. You know that nothing goes up forever.
Right.
Great temptation.
It's tough.
Sell a little. Great temptation, surely.
Yeah, get that new F-150 truck you've dreamed of.
I'm not trying to be a downer here because the market's going crazy. Look at that, up 104 points right now.
What about the investor who's held back all this time, frightened he can't go any higher, so I'm just going to hang on to my cash at some point.
God.
They're going to have to take the leap, I think.
I know a couple of those people.
I do.
Yes, I do. Yes, you don't.
Not sitting at this table.
Right. No, they're not at this table.
Sorry, 5 banks, RBC, UBS, Deutsche, Bank of America, raised S&P 500, 3,000 by the end of the year.
3,000. Is it 2,800 now?
That's too low.
Got it.
Too low.
Oh, Scott Martin, too low, says he, chiming in from the background there. I can see it. Okay. Now, forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, and I have to talk about the dollar. I know that most of you don't really care about the value of the dollar, whether it's up or down, but Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, he said a weak dollar is good for the United States. All right, Professor Bremberg. Now, I don't care what he really meant, and I don't think our audience cares that much whether the dollar goes up 1% or down 1%.
This story, to me, is so overblown, and I'll tell you what it is. I think it's the critics saying we're trying to find anything we can to get in the way of the good news of the tax cuts and regulations, so they're making a big deal about the dollar. He didn't say anything that newsworthy. It's going to blow over pretty quickly.
Besides, if the dollar goes down a bit, that's very good
in the short
for America's global corporations. Yes. They'll make more money when those yen and pounds and euros are translated back to cheaper dollars.
Just may have to cancel your European vacation. It's getting expensive.
I haven't been to Europe in 25 years, and I ain't going now.
Would they take you?
Yeah, that's another point. That's a good point.
Get in.
I get that. All right. Home Depot, the latest major corporation to give hourly workers bonuses. Who gets what?
Yeah, they've got a whopping big, to use your word, 400,000 workers. They've got a big workforce. They're not saying how many workers are going to get up to 1,000 each. Okay. The bonuses range from $200 to 1,000. So they're adding to the list. Now 241 companies are giving tax cuts back to workers.
What?
241.
241.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Quick check of the big board. I'll read it out for the benefit of our radio listeners. We're up 97 points. 26,348. Where's the price of oil? Not that it matters that much to the stock market, but I'll tell you now, $66 per barrel. Yeah. You'll be paying more for gas in a couple of weeks. There's a Dow component. It's called Intel. They report their profits later on this afternoon. They're already up 1%. Lower profits at Ford. They're hurt by rising commodity prices and unfavorable currency exchange rates. Ford's back down to $11 a share. The missile maker, that will be Raytheon. Strong demand for more missiles from the U.S. and our allies, and the stock is up 1%, $200 a share on Raytheon. Pretty much the same story at Northrop Grumman, helped by higher sales in the aerospace and mission systems, whatever that is. They make parts for the Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Fair enough.
I don't know. What is the mission systems business? Thank you. They make parts for the F-35 jet. There you go. And the stock is up $4 at 317. See, just explain it. Speak English. Okay, all right, keep going. Starbucks, they report after the bell. They're giving big-time bonuses as well, and higher wages, I think it is.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it is. They're up at 61 on Starbucks right now. How about investing in America? What is Fiat Chrysler saying about that?
Well, they're going to say basically 4,000 workers at a plant. They're going to now give out new profit-sharing pay to workers. So they're adding on. They've already said they're going to invest a lot of money in the U.S. due to the tax cuts. They're adding on to it. So they're basically really going full bore saying that, you know, we are going to boost our margins in North America. The U.S. tax cuts are really helping our bottom line right now.
271 companies giving bonuses or
41.
241, I'm sorry.
Let's give it a day.
3 million Americans will be getting high wages benefits
Right.
Or bonuses. And in February, people who pay tax get themselves a higher paycheck.
Yeah.
That's highly stimulative, I would have thought, Brembo.
Well, it is, and such a contrast compared to what we've seen over the past 8 to 10 years. Remember, wages were never going up. Every job report, no wage raises. Right. Now we're seeing hundreds of these at one time. That's what the president's going to Davos to talk about, that and that alone.
Okay. Campbell's Soup closing their only Canadian factory, this in Toronto. They're shifting production to 3 existing facilities in the United States. Am I going too far in saying that this is the latest symbolic victory of the Trump administration?
Well, you can certainly claim
back
it,
here?
whatever the reason. It's 380 workers, but it is. Just add it to, you know, to the growing list of jobs being created and business coming back to the United States.
I got a little gee whiz for you, and it's from Walmart. They may have solved the biggest roadblock to online grocery shopping. They're letting customers choose the exact piece of produce, as in the exact piece of fruit or the exact, whatever it is, vegetable, when they pick groceries online.
It's like the dating app Tinder. You swipe right if you want that bunch of bananas.
Yeah?
But if you don't like the look of them, you swipe left and say, no, thank you very much.
You kidding me?
No.
They've been complaining that they're getting rotten, bruised bananas.
Yeah, and you can't
bad
pick. I mean,
fruit.
you go to your grocery store, you can pick, I want
You
that.
get an
banana.
image of what the Walmart employees picked for you, and you say, oh, no, those look good, thank you.
Oh, by the way,
It almost
Scott
has
Martin,
the same effect as Tinder, doesn't it?
whatever you say. I don't know. Look, Walmart's at 106. Walmart is the best competitor to Amazon. What say you, Scott Martin?
I agree, Stuart, and that's how we added it to our portfolios some weeks ago, was because you're right. I mean, if there's one company that's going to take on Amazon, if there's one company that the world is big enough to have alongside Amazon, in my opinion, it's Walmart. And to the point about the fruit and the effect of maybe Tinder, you know, with the same result there of picking actually what you want. The reality is this, you know, Walmart is starting to innovate again to catch up to Amazon, or at least stay side to side with them, which is, this is exactly the key to them competing with Amazon, and the fact that they have so many locations countrywide. They're beating Amazon with respect to the number of locations that they have on the street.
Is Tinder a dating service, Tinder?
Yeah.
So you pick what you want, pick who you want?
Oh,
Okay.
come on, Ash.
He knows that.
At my age, you don't know that kind of stuff. Moving along, ladies and gentlemen,
quickly.
please. Netflix. One Wall Street analyst now believes it will exceed 200 million global streaming subscribers.
And screaming.
And that too. By 2020, what's that, about 2 years away? 200 million? What do you say to that, Scott Martin?
It's too low. I'll tell you, you look at the earnings report they just had, Stuart, the subscriber growth was amazing. And think about that number. I mean, 200 million is a lot, yes. But think about some of the other, I guess, areas where they're somewhat similar in the sense of Facebook. Yes, I know Facebook is not a paid kind of situation like Netflix is. But if you think about worldwide growth for Netflix, 200 million seems a little low to me. And the fact that if you see how much content they're creating, all the great shows they have, international growth is going to be huge for them going forward. If they hit 200 million in a couple of years, I would not be surprised.
Whoa, 113 billion market value on about $500 million in net profit? That's a pretty richly valued company right now, given its debt load as well.
And I don't think anybody's going to buy them.
But the growth is off control.
People are not going to buy them at that price.
113 billion right now market value.
Yeah, I don't think people buy them. I don't think they're a takeover target.
pricey.
But they are completely changing the entertainment world.
No, it's content. I mean, you can't compete with Netflix. The stuff is so good, and all the traditional media companies are running for cover, and they're looking at mergers.
They have more customers than cable right now, Netflix.
And more excited customers, by the way. Too.
Check out GE, please. Sorry to cut that off, but GE, where are they? Ooh, $16 a share. Headline in the Financial Times. This paper here, GE accounting probe deals blow to new chief Flannery. Do we have any takers? Anybody would buy GE at 16? Lizzie?
Unless it's an acquisition target. I think it needs to sell itself.
Okay.
Break itself up and
hasn't
sell.
hit a bottom
Wouldn't touch
yet.
it, Bremberg? Wouldn't touch it. Scott Martin, $16, you buy it?
Soon. I'm going to tell you why, guys. The news on GE is getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, every week there's bad news on GE. Eventually that's going to stop. We saw that happen with retail in November, December. GE could probably be a trade more than anything soon, but it's probably around $14.50, $15.
Okay, we
Swipe
hear you.
left.
It's that time. It's swipe left.
Not going to do it.
Brian and Scott, thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. Big day, and we appreciate you being here.